Man, that sunset is gorgeous.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
Oh, burger time.
So sit back, get comfortable. Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana, where car buying meets comfort, meets convenience. Download the app or visit Carvana.com today.
Joe Dredge. Hey. Mornings on WROK. Over 95 years in the books and still on top. This is Rockford's News Talk 1440 WROK.
7 minutes after 7, News Talk 1440 WROK. Riley and Joe on a Monday morning, brought to you by Wild Rose Casino and Resort in Clinton, Iowa. It's cloudy and 32 with the wind coming out of the east at 14 miles an hour. We've got feels like a 22 happening. Daytime high today, 47. We're looking at 39 tomorrow, 24 Wednesday, 27 Thursday, 25 on Friday. So with yesterday and today's 1-2 punch of decent temperatures, we're going to start to head the other direction.
Okay. All right.
I'd like to tell you it's
Good
different,
couple
but
days.
it's just kind of the way it goes.
And rain tonight.
Yeah, it looks like after 5 o'clock tonight, we could be in for some rain. We've got a 50% chance of that happening, which goes to an 80% chance tomorrow. That could be a wintry mix as we top out at 39. Nothing happening as far as precipitation on Wednesday. Back to a 45% chance on Thursday. That looks like snow. Friday, partly sunny, 5% chance.
Okay.
We'll see.
That's good.
We'll see. For a while, we enjoyed looking at some of the real estate prices that were floating in from the Bay Area.
Sure, it's fun.
You basically see a 700 square foot shack sitting on a little bit of land that sells for well over $1 million.
Yeah, it'd be worth more if the shack's not there.
Right? Because that's the first thing you're going to do is take that shack out of there.
Take the shack down. Yes.
Story out of the New York Post this morning. I'm getting some headway in social media. The average home now costs over $1 million in more American cities than ever before.
Okay.
When you think about dropping $1 million on a house.
Yes.
Now, I like I've said before, there's a guy named Ennis who does the home tours out. He does them all over the country and the world now, but it started out in Hollywood, Bel Air, some of those places. And, he's taking you through 50, 80, $100 million homes. Amazing. But the idea of $1 million spent on a house for the average person.
For a normal-ish house.
Correct.
A nice house.
Right. In more U.S. cities than ever before, $1 million is just the average. According to a new report by real estate listing platform Zillow, a record-breaking 146 American cities surpassed the $1 million mark in 2021. That's the most ever recorded to breach that price point in a single year.
Okay.
All of the freshly minted locals have brought the total recorded number of American cities in which an average home goes for $1 million or more to 481 total.
Wait, there's 481 cities in America where the average home price is $1 million?
That's what it says here, according to Zillow. To put that number into perspective, 2021 saw the addition of more $1 million cities than the past 6 years combined and triple the number we added in 2020.
Okay.
Now, the majority of the cities are coastal areas. You've got San Francisco, New York, L.A., San Jose, Boston, Seattle, Miami, D.C., Santa Rosa, California, Santa Maria, and Santa Barbara, California as well. Some other areas, Idaho, Montana, Tennessee, states that before 2021 never had a single city in the $1 million club.
Jeez. Okay.
Zillow economist Jeff Tucker, quote, "We're seeing how the geography of wealth in the U.S. has begun to shift, as 2021 was the first year for both Idaho and Montana to put any cities on the list, and now those western states boast $3 million cities each."
Oh, really?
Each. Yep.
Each.
Real estate companies' findings also showed growth in areas that are perceived as being hard hit by the pandemic. The locations of these newly seven-figure towns bust the myth that everyone fled California and the Northeast last year. To many locals in more surprising new seven-figure cities, that landmark price doesn't feel like a surprise. You have realtor Sean Larson, Brentwood, Tennessee. Quote, in reality, we probably crossed that $1 million point some time back. Estimating the Nashville suburb of Brentwood hit the mark about 6 months ago and is now closer to an eyebrow-raising average, $1.4 million.
So we knew the pandemic was great for Jeff Bezos. Made a lot of money.
Oh, yeah,
that.
sure was.
Pandemic also apparently played out pretty well for real estate folks.
In certain areas, it most certainly did. New Yorkers are used to seeing derelict units sell for $500,000. What $1 million gets you in Brentwood, Tennessee might come as a surprise. Larson recently saw an admittedly grand-looking 4-bedroom sell for $1.5 million. He said, Brentwood got caught up in Nashville's growth. We've seen this whole area explode. That city's fairly small, 42,000 people.
Jeez.
Said it's the result of being in the right place at the right time and enjoying a great deal of demand as a result. COVID has really driven that hot market, he said, of the recent increase in that area.
Okay.
So now we have 481 American cities where the average home is $1 million.
If you would ask me to guess, I probably would have said something like 45, 50.
I would have been lower than that. I would have been in the 25 to 35.
Okay. All right.
But then again, you're forgetting these little towns that you've never heard of.
Well, right.
That are enclaves of the very well-heeled.
I'm sure Winnetka probably is on the list somewhere, and
Absolutely.
no one in New York knows about Winnetka. You know, that's just where the rich go to live. But that is odd that there's more this year than, what did you say, than the previous 6 years combined?
Combined, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, not everything's doing poorly in America.
No, not at all.
The real estate industry is doing pretty great right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to pop it up here. There's a bunch of people who are jumping on this one. Let's see.
I do want to know, just because, you know, there's 485 or how many $1 million cities for listing. How many of these are actually getting bought at the price listed? Yeah, I mean,
that's a good question.
I mean, assuming you're listing houses at prices they're going to ostensibly be sold at, but
maybe our pal Greg Saunders is tuned in this morning.
Yeah.
Greg knows his way around real estate. Greg would probably shine a better light on this than we could. Rise Media or RizMedia.com. Record 146 added to the $1 million club in 2021. 481 now. Typical home value starting at least $1 million. At the current pace, another 49 more could be added to the list by summertime.
Jeez. So we'll most likely get over 500 of these cities.
Yep.
By the summer.
Yep. And like we said, more $1 million cities were added in 2021 than previous 6 years combined. Clear to understand the rapid growth is based on 2021's record-setting year of home appreciation, where home values appreciated by 19.6%.
And like the national suburb makes sense, you know. Montana, Idaho makes sense. You hear a lot of people moving out there. I'm sure Austin, Texas has joined that list too. But hearing that we're also still growing in California, in New York, where people weren't supposed to be staying there.
No,
to buy up
and they are leaving. There's no good.
Yeah.
I know that guy's a little snarky comment. Oh, everyone didn't leave California Northeast. Yeah, but you've got an exodus going like you've never seen before, regardless of your home values.
You do, but the powers that be obviously think there's enough $1 million house potential buyers to list them this way. They're staying.
California is home to the most $1 million real estate markets. They have 111 cities there with an average price of $1 million for a home. Expected to add 14 more over the next year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, California and New York are the home to the most $1 million real estate markets. 111 in California. San Francisco metro area has 46 of them, the most of any metro in the country. New York State has 30 cities of them that do that. Who else? Let's see. Biltmore Forest, North Carolina. Median home value in June of 2018, $978,900. Projected median home value this year, well over $1 million. Newark, California.
Find Illinois cities on this?
I'm looking as I scroll
that's
down
what
the
I thought you
list.
were
Anna
doing.
Maria, Florida. These are some of the newer ones that have joined the ranks of the $1 Million Home Club. A lot of these are coastal. I'm seeing California. We're going back and forth from California, New York, Massachusetts, back to California again, more in California.
Do a Control F Illinois
All right.
or IL, however they put it in there. The find function is an amazing Google tool.
All right. Let's see what happens here. 0 of 0.
Illinois has no.
Well, according to that Control F I just typed in,
Right.
it just said 0. So I don't really know. Well, New Jersey, New York, California. Boy, yeah, they're right. 111 places in California to lead the nation. Yep, that's all I'm seeing pop up on this list. Although there's some of these towns in California I've never heard of.
Okay.
So I guess that's why, Morgan Hill, California.
No.
No idea. 1.1 million is their average. Burbank 1.182. There's a ton of them.
Yeah, I can't find anything from Illinois. here.
No, and I would have thought, like you had mentioned, Winnetka, Kenilworth.
Yeah, there's a couple.
I would think maybe at Evanston at this point.
Evans is probably there too.
You would be looking at clubs or people who are in that club. But 481 total communities in America where the average home is going to cost you $1 million.
Yeah.
That's if you want to just be like everyone else.
Just 481 cities and probably not moving to anytime soon.
I don't know if we're allowed in
Oh,
them.
I am not. There's my picture everywhere.
7:17. Clay and Buck here after 11. Here's a preview.
Monday edition.
Man, that sunset is gorgeous.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
Oh, burger time.
So sit back, get comfortable. Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana, where car buying meets comfort, meets convenience. Download the app or visit Carvana.com today.
Over 95 years in the books and still on top. This is Rockford's News Talk 1440 WROK.
7:35 News Talk 1440 WROK. Riley and Joe on a Monday morning. Cloudy skies and 32. Feels like 22. Headed for 48 today. But we've got a 48% chance of us drawing some precipitation as well. Tomorrow, 39 with an 80% chance of a wintry mix. Then we get a little cooler on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 24 Wednesday, 27 Thursday, Friday is 26. We're looking at some overnight lows that are attention getting. Tonight, only 36, but tomorrow, 13.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, 17. Thursday night, 14. Friday night, 9.
9 Friday. 9.
So
Yikes.
that's what we have going on there. For those who paid any attention to the Olympics, AP's got an interesting piece out this morning about the Olympics now that they have come to a conclusion.
Right.
Last night, which I didn't see any of that.
Okay. They do closing ceremonies last night?
I believe so,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Associated Press, many reasons to think NBC made a savvy business deal back in 2014 when they locked up the American rights to the Olympics through 2032 for $7.75 billion.
So they went, when did they sign that deal?
2014.
2014 through 2032?
Yep.
It's not that horrible of a deal. I mean, how many Olympics are you going to get for that? You can get, 18? You can get 9, 10 Olympics? That is less than $1 billion a year for your per Olympics.
Okay. Now, do you get it back, though? That's the big question.
Yeah.
AP says as the Beijing Winter Games come to a close, it's harder to see the many reasons this was a savvy business deal. These Olympics, they say, were a disaster for the network, a buzz-free, hermetically sealed event in an authoritarian country, a half a day's time zone away, where the enduring images will be the emotional meltdown of Russian teenagers after a drug-tainted figure skating competition.
You see that?
Yes.
The medal ceremony or the post,
Horrible.
It was ugly.
And a bereft Michaela Schifrin sitting on a ski slope wondering what went wrong. Many American athletes underperformed, and arguably the most successful freestyle skier, Eileen Gu, said, screw it, I'm going to go compete for China.
Okay, yeah.
Viewers, AP points out, stayed away in alarming numbers. And NBC has to wonder whether it was extraordinarily bad luck or if the brand of a once unifying event for tens of millions of people has been permanently tainted. Andrew,
Possibly tainted.
I think, given some of the things we saw this year, tainted. Andrew Billings, Director of Sports Communications, University of Alabama. Given the investment, NBC has no choice but to be disappointed right now. Network executives say there's no plans to try and adjust or escape from the rights deal. Several experts say that would be unlikely given how live sports are increasing in value and represent one of the few ways advertisers can gather large audiences to sell them cars or beer. NBC Olympics President Gary Zinkel is very optimistic about future games in Paris, in Italy, in L.A., but maybe
When's
not.
LA getting it?
2032, I think.
Oh, okay. Summer? Yeah, obviously summer.
Beijing, like Tokyo last year, took place in an environment where the primary objective was to prevent the spread of COVID. That meant no fans or athletes' families in the stands, no quirky stories about the host country, and even fewer announcers. Most of NBC's team work from an office building in Connecticut.
2028 for LA, by the way.
2028 on that one. Zenkel, the guy with the NBC Olympics president, certainly one of the great supporting actors in every Olympics, is the host city. It's the culture, the people, even the sponsor activations. People from all over the world come together, and that is not in Beijing, and there's no way for us to translate something like that.
Okay.
Through Tuesday, an average of 12.2 million people watched the Olympics in prime time on NBC, cable, or on the Peacock streaming service. That's down 42% from the last Winter Games in South Korea. Average for NBC alone was 10 million. That's a 47% drop.
You're from South Korea. I mean, we're talking same.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can't argue it was a time zone.
Time zone.
Right? And that's even with the average inflated because it aired directly after the Super Bowl, which gave it a big kiss of 24 million viewers.
How long ago were the South Korean Olympics?
2018.
2018. So you can't even blame it on. I mean, 4 years ago we were a little less connected, but
not much.
We knew everything that was happening in prime time then.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
NBC Sports Chair Pete Bavacqua says ratings are in line with what they told advertisers they would be. Sold advertisers packages that include linear and streaming coverage. NBC has not yet said whether the Beijing Games turned a profit or lost money. Well, here, let me get out over my skis here. I bet they lost money. Because I think the last one that made money was Salt Lake.
You're talking about for the city?
Yes.
Oh, well, no way it made money.
No.
Well, how the hell would they make money?
I have no idea.
They weren't fans.
Thursday's figure skating, where Russian Kamila Valieva competed despite a positive drug test and fumbled away any chance at a medal, was excruciating television.
You know, we got a lot of ink spilled on Chafin, who's the downhill skier.
Yeah, Michaela Schifrin.
Yeah, Michaela Schifrin. We got a lot of Schifrin. We got a lot of ink spilled on the cameras lingering on her while she was despondent on the side of a hill.
I don't know why people were upset about that.
I don't know why people,
I was watching when it happened.
Yeah, and I don't know why people were upset about that too, but you would feel the same people that were upset about that would have been horrified by what the cameras were lingering on after that the skating.
Yeah, the Kamila Valieva.
Because that was hard to watch. Because that was so much more than an athlete failing at the pinnacle of their career.
No, this is a 15-year-old little girl.
It was abuse.
Yeah.
It was abuse.
That's a great way of putting it. Yeah. One woman on Twitter proclaimed the Olympics were, quote, over for me. My lasting impression will be fake snow against the backdrop of 87 nuclear reactors in a country with a despicable human rights record during a pandemic. And kids who could look forward to years of therapy.
Oh, yes.
The image of Valieva standing alone on the ice, looking terrified before her performance, stuck with NBC's Mike Tirico. Quoting Mike, the adults in the room left her alone. Portrayed by some this week as the villain, by others as the victim, she is, in fact, the victim of the villains.
Yes. That's very clear.
Yep.
15-year-olds can't be villains yet.
Not in this case. Not in this
case.
Context. No. While there have been a long corruption in the bidding process for the Olympics, the Valieva episode tarnished the actual competition, according to many.
It does. It has a different level of grossness to it. We all know. I mean, everybody.
You forced her to drug up.
Everybody knows that the host city thing is rigged, and that's a whole game of politics. And
Yep.
and that's something we've just eaten. I mean,
What do we care?
Forever.
Yeah.
We've known that.
Bottom line, do you care?
Not at all.
I don't either.
Well,
I don't care if there's corruption from start to finish on who gets the Olympics.
I really don't care. Just get them played and get them out there. But when we saw Russia, who's already had a really, really bad run of Olympic integrity, shall we say?
At what point are we just going to kick out all Russians?
Well, exactly. If I'm NBC, you got to start pining for that.
Yeah, I mean, at what point have we just given everybody the boot here?
I mean, that whole country is giving such a. Russia came out looking far worse than China.
Yeah, I'm sure China
Olympics.
loved that too.
Yeah.
I think China probably loved that too. NBC knew even before the pandemic, the Tokyo and Beijing games are likely to be the low points of the rights deal. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if things kick back up, if live viewership. It's also winter. I mean, whatever. I mean,
Now don't throw personal preference. into
I
it.
understand, but winter traditionally have had lower numbers.
The summer games
well.
generally do draw better than the winter games, not by a wide margin, but they do draw better.
But yeah, if we get some Summer Olympics in, is Italy the next one? What's
Paris,
that?
I believe, is the next one.
So that's even closer. So that's 6 hours.
Yeah, the time zones for Paris and winter 2026 in Italy, still not ideal. They're talking about, but with a prospect of no live events in prime time in the U.S., that changes for LA in the summer of 2028.
Yeah.
2030 games could be held in North America, with Vancouver and Salt Lake City expressing interest. IOC could name a host city next year. Brisbane, Australia, named the summer 2032 host last year.
Okay. We've been through the Australian Olympics before. That's
for the Sydney Games in 2000.
2000. That wasn't great either.
No, pretty much anything that's on either side of one of those oceans is going to screw us up.
It's going to mess some things up. But, well, NBC's... I do think NBC probably made money in the long run. Or would this be like a lost leader for them,
I don't think they'll lose the $7.75 billion they kicked out, but I also don't think, we tripled that.
No.
Oh, man, was this a high return?
No.
This might be one of those, okay, let's not do this again.
Right now, that looks bad. And we're also talking about, a deal that goes out for another 10 years. Who knows what's going to happen?
I don't know why they think things are going to get better, though.
I'm trying to think of why people will be more interested in the Olympics, and I can't find one.
No, when you've got cheating galore.
Yes.
You watch a young girl get victimized, and luckily this is the lowest rated Olympics of all time. If I'm her therapist, I'm going to lead with that.
Yeah, no one watching, honey.
Yeah, when it's time for our therapy sessions, I just want to point out, listen, at least not many people were watching overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could have, had this been like the 76 games or something, this had been really bad.
Yes, been very.
Had been the 80 games, horrible for you. But not all that many people were tuned in. I think you're going to be okay.
No, and it seemed like I watched a couple people break down, what happened that were skating, experts, and I mean they weren't surprised by anything that was happening there. It was kind of like everyone kind of said it finally broke, the dam broke on this one, and we're seeing publicly what's been going on behind the scenes for Russia
for a long time. The other thing that jumps out at me too is when you watch let's use figure skating for an example. There was one where I think it was a couples thing where they both did a spin and somebody's hand went down and maybe touched the ice a little bit. And one of the announcers points out, well, that could be one of those things that there is a nice deduction or a substantial deduction on. But sometimes the judges go with that, and sometimes the judges just pretend not to see it.
Oh, that stuff?
I hate the whole, Interpretively, that's how they scored that. No, we need hard and fast scoring here. So it isn't subject to someone's whims.
Yeah.
I don't like her dress. I'm taking points off on that.
Yeah.
I love that dress. I'm giving her points.
Or just straight politics.
Right, or straight politics, as we've seen, once again, French judges, Russian judges in deep trouble
Yeah.
over basically,
I don't like this country.
right, I don't like you, I'm scoring against you.
Yeah.
Subjective scoring doesn't sit well, I think, with an American audience because we don't do subjective scoring.
That's why the dunk contest failed this weekend. That's why.
That's why. 747, News Talk 1440, WROK. If you
That's not just the sound of that first sip of Morning Joe. It's the sound of someone shopping for a car on Carvana from the comfort of home.
That's a good blend.
It's time to take it easy, like answering some easy questions to get pre-qualified for a car in minutes.
Talk about starting the morning right.
Just like customizing your terms so your car fits your budget. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to experience car shopping the way it should be. Convenient, comfortable. Ah.